Continuing to evolve for the modern game, this is the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Volkl Vostra V1 Pro. Controllable power comes built in with this update of the V1 Pro. Speedy yet stable, the 99 square inch head comes in strung at 11.2 ounces with a 16x19 string pattern and a stiffness rating of 67. Red cell technology combines with V-cell carbon fiber and a flexible REVA resin for a more elastic construction, enhanced stability, pocketing, and feel. It also features Super Grommets in a figure-8 shape to optimize string movement for greater energy transfer and snapback. And lastly, to help with comfort, the VTEX butt cap and REVA handle system have been engineered with dampening and a more arm-friendly feel at impact. I wasn't sure what to expect from this playtest. I've hit with a lot of V1 Pros from the past. This one definitely feels like it fits into that modern game. It is much whippier and faster than a lot of the rackets that I've been hitting with. The on average swing weight is kind of around 320, so definitely think fast through the air. Yet I was really happy with how stable this racket felt from all areas of the court. The one thing that I noticed with this racket, it was very string sensitive for me. And even the string pattern, while it is a 16x19, it's a bit denser lower and a bit more open at the sweet spot. So I noticed that a bit. I would personally wish it was a little bit of the opposite because I'm looking for a tiny bit more control in my sweet spot. And then no matter what string I put in this racket, it did seem to feel a little bagged out and trampoliny right after 1 hour or so hitting with it. Now I know those spin grommets really allow you to feel and pocket the ball, but for me, I'm looking for more control from my string bed. So I struggled a tiny bit. We tested it with many different string setups at many different tensions, and they all just kind of gave a very flighty feel for me once I hit about an hour with the racket. So with that being said, it was really fun to generate, nice easy depth, easy power. And again, I thought it was really fast through the air and loved it, specifically hitting bigger first serves. Really stable at net. Great racket. I would like to customize it a tiny bit and really get the strings dialed in.
So I really like these rackets on the ground strokes, and not for my usual reasons. I like rackets that are a bit more weighted, but in general, the construction and the make of the racket is control oriented. But this one, lighter weight, very whippy. I was able to get a ton of RPMs, a ton of arch on my shots. But I would like to mention that anytime I wanted to hit like flatter shots, I had to be really conscious about like the precision as to where I'm hitting the ball. And by that I mean like anytime I would hit off of the center, the racket would just fold. And that could be because of the racket doesn't have as much weight on it. But in general, I really did like it. I was hitting drop shots behind the baseline and slices from behind the baseline. So this racket allows for a lot of craftiness and a lot of creativity. On serves, again, it's the same thing as when I was trying to hit flatter shots. You have to be really conscious about how you're hitting it, because anything off of the center, it would just fold. Again, just twist. But then again, because of the maneuverability and the lighter weight, I'm really able to crank the kick serves and get a lot of jump, a lot of bite on the ball. So that was really fun. I was getting a lot of points off of my kick serve, which is always nice, hitting aces over your friend's head. At the end of the day, I really liked the way this racket felt during play, from the baseline, the net, on serves. It just felt very comfortable, very predictable. I was able to play my game, but also experiment with a lot of the unique shots, like the drop shots and slices from behind the baseline. So if you're looking for a racket that's got that comfort, that predictability, but allows you to really whip into the ball, get a lot of spin, definitely check out the Volkl Vostra V1 Pro.
We have tested a bunch of different Volkl rackets over the past year and a half, and I have to say one of my favorite rackets so far has to be the new Volkl Vostra V1 Pro. One of my favorite things about this racket that stood out to me right away when we started playing is just how plush and comfortable it was. I really enjoyed how nice and long the ball sits in the string bed, so the racket is pocketing the ball really well. I always had a great feel for where my shots will be going. On the baseline, the racket feels amazing. I thought I was able to get very easy power and easy depth in my shots, and also pretty good access to spin. I kind of thought the more I played with this racket, the more I got used to it, the more I enjoyed it as well, actually. While the racket was mostly forgiving, the string bed is a bit more dense in the center of the frame, which played very different compared to when I would hit the ball just a little bit higher to that, a little bit off-centered, I would say, but not too far. The racket did become a bit too launchy when I would hit it just a bit north of the center of the frame. This was just something I had to get used to and dialed in with. I especially enjoyed this racket in serves when I thought the racket head came around nice and fast when I was swinging at the wall. I was able to generate a lot of easy spin and power. All in all, I think this is a great option for intermediate players looking for a racket with easy power, easy spin, and an amazing comfortable feeling.
It definitely took some time to figure out this new Volkl Vostra V1 Pro. At the beginning of the playtest, I felt like I was not very connected to my shots. I felt like I struggled to keep the ball deep on the court, but after playing with it for a bit, I started having a better feeling on both my ground strokes, and my shots were landing a little more deep, and I had control and precision while hitting the shots. In terms of maneuverability, the racket was very easy to play with. I was very quick on getting to positions to hit my shots. The shot I probably struggled the most, that never happened to me before, is volleys. Even though it was quick enough to get into position and react to the ball very nicely, I felt like my racket was unstable at the point of contact. It kind of was a little shaky every time I hit my volleys. I wish it had a little bit more stability or a little bit more behind it to get that volley in. I do want to mention, guys, that during this play test, I felt like the racket lost tension quite a bit. At the beginning, it felt like it was better for me since I could generate more power and spin, but it got to the point where I find myself losing control of the ball at the end. All in all, guys, I think this is one of the best Volkl rackets I tried in the last year. However, I do think it's for the more advanced player since it rewards more precise and clean strokes. Thanks for watching, guys. We strung up this racket with Volkl Cyclone around 50 to 52 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please go to our website, Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only.